All right, cool.
The broadcast is live.
All right, let me do a quick introduction. Welcome to Do Make Something, where we're discussing all things life, just like the realities of life. What's going on with my brother right now? It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. But yeah, welcome to Do Make Something, where we discuss faith, art, creativity, culture, and everything to help Black men to improve themselves, get better, and stuff like that. And a big part of it is managing our mental health so that we can think better, so that we can be better. But I like to talk about a lot of different stuff because I'm interested in a lot of other stuff. And I know Black men are not just one dimensional, so we like art, we like creativity, we like all kinds of stuff. And so I have the pleasure to sit down and talk with my brother, my good brother, Kennard Blackwell, who is a director, cinematographer extraordinaire. I mean, I want you to give your own introduction.
Yeah.
Because I don't know all of the proper terms for what you do.
That's really funny, man. I only shit like that because I'm like, I would never tell somebody that I'm a cinematographer or a DP.
Okay.
Just because, in terms of the collaboration I look for on a film set, I hope to have a DP there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the image and the look of a film is very important to me. And so, just for my sake, I love to have a deep understanding of that stuff and even understanding my taste as far as that stuff goes. But I would never tell somebody I'm a cinematographer because it gets a little confusing at some point. Although, I mean, there's multiple people who do wear all the hats.
Yeah.
But I probably would just tell people that I'm like a struggling creative and father right now. Where I'm at a place in life right now where a lot of my attention is like driven towards my kids for everyday needs and also specific in this season deep needs with our latest child just being in the hospital. So won't get into all that, but struggling dad, just trying to like keep the dream alive, but also like keep what's very important to me alive,
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm a director, I'm a writer. Honestly, I probably would say I've written stuff, but I feel like I'm still like really trying to beast at the craft as a writer and have that be more come of like a everyday practice for me instead of it being like bursts at a time.
Right.
I'm a deferred musician, if that makes sense. Like I would never tell another musician that I'm a musician too. I would say that like I've dabbled and I've had dreams to do music that have like fallen to the wayside. Sure. Like, we've had seasons where we were making a ton of music and now I just haven't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even tell somebody I play guitar at this point because I just haven't played and I feel like it's becoming really foreign every day that I don't touch one.
Sure. Okay.
So, but music to me is like really crucial. And, all the art stuff, like you've been a crucial catalyst for me even touching all that stuff. Because I think when we met, I was really like, I had always wanted to be an artist. I didn't realize it. And then like you really like helped me learn to own it over time. Sure. So anyway, that's tangent introduction of myself.
No, yeah. I mean, we'll have to come back to that because I think I want to dig more into that because even that idea of you saying like, I guess embracing being an artist because I feel like in a very general and stereotypical sense, like even probably before college, my guess is you would have fit into like the jock mode, like you were, you know what I'm saying? Like you were based off of like my understanding of how high school was, like you were the kind of the typical jock.
So. It's really funny because I guess I would have because I played sports year round. But it's weird having the experience of a jock, but then looking back and being like, I wasn't like classic jock because I wasn't like the best. I was a sleeper. Like I was like I was like a struggling athlete trying to keep up. And then like my senior year, I had like tremendous talent growth. Like things just started clicking, but then it's like I was just out of time. Like I learned how to have like a work ethic. I learned how to like, you know what I'm saying? And then like I was just out of time. I didn't have another year left to like really like show what I had, It's like everybody runs out of time, but I just didn't take it seriously. And so, but I was also like a desiring artist. Like I took a drama class, but I never pushed it further.
Sure.
And I wanted to do like all the plays because I was really trying to act. I was trying to be an actor, but I didn't know how to fit. I just had no initiative. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know how to have initiative back then.
Yeah.
Like sports, I just fell into because, they put me into stuff
Right.
But it was like everything I did, I never did it. I didn't know how to do the things I really wanted to do. It was like college occurred because it was just like you have to do it. Like I barely applied to schools. It was just like I'm graduating, so I gotta apply to schools. Like, okay, here's the one I'm applying to, and that's where I went. You know what I mean? Like,
true, yeah.
I think I applied to like 2 schools maybe.
Yeah.
And I was gonna apply to a third, but once I got into UMD, that was it. You know?
Right.
But I think but to your point, this conversation of like learning to own it is really interesting from the aspect of like who we're talking about, Jordan Peele,
true,
Black director. Because like, man, sometimes I wish I was like back in college today, because I feel like I would be that like hardcore YouTuber kid.
Okay, yeah.
Because I just feel like I would have seen the resources were there to be grabbed, and like, but back then, like I just didn't know how to like.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know how to take the reins of anything. It's like I didn't figure it out until now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like there's so many people who are our age and like in our generation who are like, yo, if I knew that being a content creator,
if I knew
exactly
YouTube was going to be, I would have been like, master vlogger.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Because like we were making stuff and putting stuff online, but it wasn't. It wasn't like.
I wish we were putting on YouTube.
Yeah,
I wish we were putting on YouTube.
But all right, yes, let's jump into today's topic, because there is a lot there that in another stream or whatever I would like to unpack.
Hopefully my kids let me hang and do it.
Yeah. It's real life here. Real life. We're dealing with real life. Today we're trying to talk about, or we're going to discuss Jordan Peele's third. Right, this is his third feature film.
As a director, he's written a ton of stuff. You know what I mean? I didn't realize how much he wrote on. In addition to these 3 main films, but it's their one.
Okay, so we'll do this. So we'll start with like your initial thoughts, like from not even before, like initial thoughts after seeing the movie, but like when you saw the first preview, what were your like?
Okay, I remember that they dropped. I think I heard that they had dropped a preview during Super Bowl. But I don't know if I caught it. I don't remember catching it for some reason. I think but I might have looked it up later, and I was like, "Yo, this joint looks wild, like creepy, scary." And it's, the shot that got me. It was the shot. Are we like spoiler here? Or
hold on,
it's like
no, we're definitely.
Will we have a section to be like, "Hey, let's talk about it generally," and then like from here on, pause it. Okay,
yeah.
I mean, it's in the trailer. It's the trailer shot where like you see 2 hands go like this, like that joint, like creeped me out, bro. I was like, is that a gremlin?
I see.
The initial like the first joint, I was like, because I mean, you saw the posters for a while, and I was like, yo, this man's already back with another movie. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
You knew Daniel Kaluuya was in it.
Yeah.
Then you heard that Keke Palmer was in it, and I'm like, and then for me that it's also changed because I met Keke Palmer. In March of this year,
Okay.
I met her doing this gig for Easter egg that she did at Kennedy Center, and I was like a camera operator, but I got to like, I didn't really talk to her much because I wasn't trying to like, I don't have the ability to like cross professional lines, like to tell people how I really feel about them as an artist. Without losing like the professional. Not that I would be like fanning out here, like super standing, but I was like, I don't have the ability to like have the quick ability to be like, yo, I love what you do, or your personality is great, or whatever.
Yeah.
But here's a lav mic for this interview. I don't know how to cross that line.
Yeah.
But yo, Keke, like behind the scenes, she was off stage, like before we started rolling. She's just like, she's like that, yo. She's dope on presence. So anyway, I just knew that like this movie's gonna be like a fun one to watch.
Yeah.
And then they had the more heavy marketing that kind of continued to unroll. They had some really dope teasers, especially one where they're like, "Is this the nope? Nah." Like, that's my favorite one.
Yeah.
And that really was like, okay, I'm definitely seeing this.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have saw it anyway. It just was figuring out like how soon I would.
Yeah.
So saw it basically opening day matinee show.
True.
Yeah. So anyway, up until the point I was like, yo, let's go. I was ready. I wish I had. And here's the thing. I've only seen Get Out once, and I've only seen Us once.
Okay, yeah.
Of course, I've seen a ton of like people talk about Get Out, and even Us, but I've only seen Get Out once.
Yeah.
I've read the scripts like a few times. I have like this book. Excuse me. I got this joint.
Okay.
Hella dope.
Oh, snap! It's a book of like
It's the
just a
screenplay,
script.
like, but like in a book
Oh wow.
form. And it's got
Okay.
like, I'm like, I'm not sure what. It's got us in
Yeah.
split camera view. And I'm like, what do you see?
Okay. Yeah.
But it's got some notes on it. It's like really cool. I thought it was limited edition until I realized it was not.
Mass produced.
Yeah, but yeah, at least I got mine early.
I think my initial response, like seeing, because I think the first trailer I saw was that teaser, the one with the nope, like they just keep saying,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, like I was low key geeked about it because I know like he's covered different types of, I guess, what's considered horror or like suspense, and I was kind of excited that he was like, it seemed, at least again from the previews, like, oh, he's about to drift off into like the sci-fi kind of stuff, into like aliens and stuff like that. I was like, oh, okay, this is about to be real interesting. Because I mean, there's so many different ways that you can take that, you know, like to kind of talk about it. But no, I was excited. Like I think Alicia and I watched it together, like the trailer. She was like, oh no, like she wanted to see it, but I think later we saw, because I think at the time when we saw the trailer, it didn't say what it was rated, and so then later it said it was R and it had like graphic violence in it or something like that. Yeah, and she was like, I can't see it. She was like, but you should go see it. So I was like, all right, whatever. And which is interesting because
it's not even that bad.
It's but I mean, you know,
I will say there was a moment that like I was shook.
Oh yeah, I think there were.
It was because of his use of audio is like tremendous in this film. But I saw it with my homeboy Eric.
Yeah.
And like we were kind of spaced out. 'Cause I'm still kind of like trying to figure out how to like exist in COVID, but still do normal things, but be safe.
Yeah.
So he's not next to me, but he's just like a seat over.
Yeah.
And he had just got COVID, so I was like, "You probably are safe for a few days."
Right. Yeah.
But after that particular joint in the middle, which I guess I'll say what it is later on. But I was like, I looked at him like, we both looked at each other like, I just got shook like for a second. Yeah. But yeah, gory though, that joint. Also, Alicia, I remember when Get Out came out, and you and Alicia were like, "Yo, go see Get Out," like because we didn't see it in theaters. Because I remember the trailer for it, which the trailer for Get Out was like. Hands down, yo, Jordan Peele is probably. I mean, I don't know how the trailer system works.
Right.
My guess, I know that they do sometimes. They'll export the cut of a trailer out to a different like production house or like post production house or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the director ever oversees that cut. It might be a studio thing or something, whatever. Right. But his trailers for his films are just always been like.
Yeah.
Like intriguing because I remember when Get Out, everybody like no one was talking about anything else but Get Out. Like, what is this? I'm shook. You know what I'm saying? It's just like great trailers, yo, great. And then his use of like slowing down music is like, like it's cool to see that become so popularized. Cause I feel like as like editors, we probably and like music play arounders, producers or whatever. Like we have reverse music, we slow down music. Yeah, and then to see it used in this way, it's like, yo, so genius. So
he's definitely. I feel like that's becoming part of his like film brand.
There's a couple things I'm noticing as part of his film brand. And I'll tell you one more thing when we kind of get into it, but
it's all good.
Sorry, this is my point.
Yeah,
you and Alicia were like, yo, go see this movie.
Yeah,
and Alicia was like, it's like scary, but not that scary. She doesn't talk like this, but I don't.
No, it's all good.
But it's like psychological thriller, you know.
So
kind of like she always pretends to be scared at these like different movies, and then I'm like, you see them, and I'm like, yo, I'm sure you were fine.
Yeah. I mean, I think she enjoyed Get Out until the very end, like when stuff got crazy,
stuff like,
and she So it's stuff like that like she can't. So like with us, like she couldn't see us. Because there's some intense stuff in us, and then like even I think of the three.
My wife is trying to FaceTime me right now.
I mean, no. Of the three, I think this one, it might be like overall throughout the whole film, it might be like second, like of his three, second goriest. Because like a lot of, I feel like a lot of Get Out stuff was like all the way at the end. So like the majority of the movie was okay, but like Us was like throughout, like once the movie started going, like it was just all throughout. But this one, it was like, I don't want to say sprinkled, but it was like patchy. It wasn't as intense as the other one.
I mean, the way the joint kind of opened, it wasn't gory, but it kind of was like you went ham with the spoiler.
Yeah.
Nickel. Like,
Yeah.
Or dime or whatever quarter it was.
Yeah,
It's like I've never seen Keith David like that.
Yeah.
Kind of like an image I can't get out of my head, honestly.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
My man
All right, let's see. So yeah, I mean, so I was excited, and what I was gonna say is like, I know since the pandemic and stuff like that, like you've been to the movies. This is probably the first movie I've seen in the movie theaters since. So
okay, where did you see it?
I saw it at the Magic Johnson Theater, but like,
please tell me it was lit.
No, it was nobody in there.
Stop.
No, but I did that. I did that on purpose, though. I did that on purpose. You know,
I get you. My dream was to see it in like a room full of Black people.
Yeah, no,
but of course, I couldn't. I wasn't trying to do that, but I wanted to.
Yeah. Oh, 100%, 100%, 100%. There were so many scenes.
Honestly, for this particular movie, it's one of those movies where I feel like I know filmmakers always sound snobby when they're like, you got to see it on a big screen. It's gonna be mwah, mwah, mwah. But it's like, this joint is kind of true for the scale it's trying to have, the spectacle it's trying to have.
Yeah.
But also, like, especially with Black films like this, like, the Black commentary is like none other. And like, I feel like for this is like, you kind of welcome it. Mm-hmm. Even though this is more of an adventure kind of movie, it was like, I want to hear the 45 Black woman be like, nah. You know what I'm saying? That's what
no, 100%. Absolutely. Especially when it comes to like you said, adventure or like horror kind of movies, like those reactions add to the experience. But yeah,
so when I saw this whole joint by yourself?
No, it was like, it might have been max 10 people in the theater.
Okay.
So, I mean, there were a couple of moments where I could hear like other people like laughing or reacting or whatever. But yeah, like this was the first movie I've seen since prior to all that. And like, I saw it on AMC's version of IMAX. So, which is
not true
IMAX, but
it's not true IMAX, bro.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like it's right in between like a regular cinema or regular movie theater and then like actual IMAX. So it's okay, but I would never, if I had the choice, like for example, I don't know what previews you got when you saw it, but like there was a preview for the new Avatar. Like,
yeah.
Not The Last Airbender.
Yeah. Sorry, I was Avatar. Like, stop.
No. But like for that, like I was telling Alicia, it's like, yeah, we got to see that in like an actual IMAX. So we got to go. We got to go to Smithsonian and see that. So let's actually get into the movie. Okay. So okay. Spoilers. If you're watching this or whatever, if you haven't seen the movie, and you go beyond this point, it's your fault. Sorry. But yes, we're gonna be spoiling and talking about all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
So 3, 2, 1, it's your fault. So the movie starts or whatever. What's the first? Okay, you mentioned Keith David, so we'll start with that. So we'll jump over the whole, I guess, Gordy scene that happened even before.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll hop over that.
We can't hop over it. It's
true. Yeah.
What I'm hearing from my like sphere of the world around and friends is like everybody loved the Gordy sequence.
Really?
Everybody loved the Gordy sequence, and like, so I feel like I got to give you like a general summary of the whole film. We can we can go by it in chunks. It's just like first impression. First of all, in terms of for review's sake, disclaimer, I kind of hate this because I hate to be like, yeah, you worked this hard in a film and I didn't like it. Yeah. Like I hate to like be that because like making a bad film is hard. Making this film even if for some people it fell flat or whatever, it's like this is the craft of a genius. Jordan Peele is a genius, hands down. But honestly, my first impression of the film was that like for me, my liking of the film has grown over time after I've like looked at interviews and like read things on it. But my initial first walking out of the film was that like, I felt like I thoroughly enjoyed the first 2/3 of the film. And then the final third of the film, for me, so let me go back actually, because you said something about the trailer, right? Mm-hmm. When you didn't really get the sense of UFOs or aliens or whatever, because I don't think I think the first trailer I saw, I don't think they showed a spaceship like that. At least I can't remember.
Yeah.
Like, because I remember at the point when they start showing trailers and you kind of like, oh yeah, this is the UFO joint. The UFO joint, honestly, like made me a bit disinterested.
True.
Because
Okay.
I just didn't care. Like, I just didn't care for the idea of like aliens or UFOs as like the part of it. Yeah. Now hearing him talk about like what he was going for and like UFOs and like even knowing that he has like a thematic thing he's going for, like spectacle, it makes perfect sense. And even how that was like the tension and like searching for it and like it totally speaks the commentary behind it is like super dope. And this is another thing too for me, the social commentary that he has in his films, like that's cool. Like it was super dope in Get Out, what he did with the horror and bending it the genre that way or whatever. But like honestly, like sometimes I don't care about social commentary.
No, like, I got you.
Like I would hate for any filmmaker to feel like they have to always do something that has a message like that. Like I think it's fine for the genre to be generally entertaining and fun. And for it to have Black people in it, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to have a whatever. But when it does, it's super dope, and like that was super dope component for it. But for me, the ending of it just really felt like it kind of felt like it either ended too soon because I was like, yo, there's some more holes I need you to wrap up from like connect the Gordy joint to this, please. You know what I'm saying? And looking at some videos, just like some like joints that like reveal eggs or things you didn't get, like I can see how it might be connected, but it to me it felt it was like the most, because it was the most like it's like my favorite scenes out of the film. One of my favorite scenes out of the film was like I needed this to have more weight bearing on the whole story. And I think too, like the emotional component that was there in the beginning of like the loss of the dad and trying to keep the ranch alive. It felt like that wasn't it. Now looking at it now, I wasn't thinking this until this very moment. What it became about was like the brother sister relationship, and that still existing. Like they're both still here. They made it through. So I kind of wish there would have been this like moment at the end of seeing them together, or something that just kind of gave you the nice wrapped up bow on it. Because it was literally like she does the Akira motorcycle slide. And then the journey is over. you know what I mean? It was like, which, by the way, Keke Palmer, her face when she does that joint is like the most like devious joint thing ever. She's like low key, like the word is not demonic, but her face on that joint is like when she's on she does a little joint. It was just crazy. It's like, how did you pull that off? It's like the end of the film just didn't wrap the bow like I was kind of hoping it would. And I think too, like when the thing transforms, I was just kind of like, the joint looks like, yo, Jordan Peele, please do not kill me. It kind of looked like a recyclable, like the joints that you hold cans in. The plastic little joint that's like, don't put this in the beach because you'll kill the fish. Like it kind of looked like that, but like fancy. And that's why I'm kind of like, yo, what if I saw it on a bigger screen? Or what if, because the screen that I saw it was like, it was an IMAX, but it kind of felt a little bit like janky. Like the sound was kind of tripping for me. Actually, the sound was like not
really,
like it was not. Something was wrong with the sound.
Oh, man.
Even though I could get how good the sound was from the film, it still had this weird like doubling of the voices. It was like the position. The room was like not tuned right, or the speakers were not positioned right. Even the screen was like shaking for me. So it was like my viewing experience was actually a little bit like stifled a bit. When that joint like expands in the sky, I'm like, I think the believability and to be scared of it. Like if I saw that joint in person, I'd be like, yo, what is that? But I kind of like got pulled out a little bit at the end. I just didn't feel like it was like it didn't feel like Frieza when she had another. When Frieza, when he had another stage, another transformation to go, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is even worse than before. It kind of was like, you were actually scarier when you were just the fast zooming around UFO joint. So, I think the monster component was really like kind of a cool idea, a cool twist, but I kind of just was like, I just didn't feel like the ending hit home like I wanted it to, you know? So,
no, I mean, I can see that. Like, so okay, when you say the first 2/3 and then the last third. What's your line of clarification for like this is the last third? So when they're actually,
I'll probably say up until the point it transforms.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like this is after they get the impossible shot.
Yeah, with my homie on the IMAX camera. I think so. Basically, once you get the dude with the deep raspy voice, once he gets got.
Okay. Yeah.
And once Kiki, like kind of literally, maybe it's not 2/3, maybe it's more like 4/5. Okay. You know what I'm saying? like the last fifth or the last sixth. I was kind of, maybe just I should just say the ending. Like I think the way it concluded was like
it
just didn't give me enough.
Okay.
But like I love so many things about that film. The cast was bomb.
Yeah.
I really even loved the TMZ Daft Punk looking helmet, dude. Like I thought this one was dope because it felt very like this is weird and awkward, and we know it.
Yeah.
And it also was like, but this is all of y'all out there in the world who like can't put their phone down.
Yeah.
And will die over it. And then also like it just looked cool. Like the costume wardrobe was like, where can I find this joint and be it for Halloween or like, you know what I'm saying? It was super dope, yo. So
No, yeah. Okay, so I think I enjoyed the movie like all the way through. Like I didn't have any that I can think of. I didn't really have any issues. Like I was rocking with the movie pretty much the whole time. And I really enjoyed the transformation thing. Like the fact that it like kept getting seemingly more, like crazier. Because like, okay, it's spaceship form. And it's like, what the heck is this thing? Like, what? Like, it just kept getting, I guess, more absurd. I thought that was cool. But
go
ahead.
Sorry, no. I feel like I'm not giving enough chance to talk. But I just realized what it reminded me of, and probably why I didn't like it that much.
What's that?
Legend of Korra season 2.
Okay.
Spirit Realm, whatever. It honestly looked like the spirit beings that they have in Legend of Korra in season 2.
Okay.
And to me, that was the worst season of that show. Where like 1 and 3 were like gangster, were good.
True.
Season 2 kind of was like, yo, you try to do too much.
Okay.
I think the idea of the transformation is actually really cool, but I kind of just felt like it got away from the monster component.
Okay. Yeah.
And I kind of was like, it just didn't do anything for me.
True.
But my fault, bro. Go ahead.
No, you straight. Like, okay, so I'm gonna make a comment there and then go back because I want to go back to the Gordy situation. Yeah. Since we're tracking our way through the movie. Like I didn't do as much follow-up research yet. Because I think I wanted to have this conversation first. Like I wanted to have this conversation and talk about it first, and then like going.
I couldn't help it because my buddy James was sending me like everything.
Oh, true.
He was like, "Yo."
Yeah. Because like I have my initial thoughts and like my own interpretations and understandings of like what he's trying to communicate. Because like the first thing I noticed is, if I'm not mistaken, he has started his 3 films with a scripture each time. And so
bruh,
I tried to think of
I was like, why? I got so many questions about it. Like, why do you do this? Not that I'm not here nor there on it. I'm just kind of like, bro, like, what is this for you to use the Bible like that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I mean, I think it's to me, with all of his films, when he does that, like it helps me to, it makes me like jump into my like Christian nerdy bag. And so I'm trying to think of like, how are there like spiritual ties here? And like, what is Jordan Peele trying to communicate or highlight or whatever? So like that makes me start trying to connect dots, which is even more interesting when it comes to this topic of like UFOs and aliens and stuff, because in some areas, like Christians don't know how to respond to that. You know, they don't know how to respond to this.
I kind of know, like, honestly.
Yeah. No, which is fair, because I mean, we don't talk about it. You know,
I will say, having seen this, I'm like, I'm a little bit more opened up because they could be in a cloud. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, yeah,
but
yeah. Oh, I did see something like when I was looking up the Wikipedia like plot, because I was trying to tell the movie to Alicia, and so I ended eventually like went to the Wikipedia and kind of went through that. And I think I saw that somebody said like the design for the UAP or jean jacket is it was very similar to like references to different animes. So like, which kind of made sense to me. Like it's I'm not sure which anime it was. Based off the picture, I think is Neo Genesis Evangelion, which talks about angels. So or UFOs, which again we'll work our way there because I have some thoughts.
Yo,
So
rabbit hole, bro. Rabbit
yeah,
hole.
100%.
Gracious.
But like that made sense to me. Like they kind of taking it kind of reminds me of Boondocks and how Aaron McGruder would like incorporate different aspects of like anime or like kung fu culture into his production of the show. So that's that thought. But to the Gordy thing, I think like you, I was trying to make the connection between Gordy. What's the guy's name? The Asian guy's name? Stephen Yoon, but his
I don't know if
character's
I'm
name.
pronouncing his last name right, but Stephen Yoon, yeah. I love him.
Okay, his character's name is. Yeah, no, I thought his character was cool.
Jupe, right?
Jupe, yeah, Jupe. So Jupe's character definitely I thought was interesting. And okay, so my guess was because clearly that story has to have some meaning with the actual overarching story because they keep talking about it and keep referencing his experience with that, his traumatic experience with that, which he's like low key brushing off whenever he's talking to them about it. It's just like, yeah, it was wild, it was crazy, but it was good times. Like, what? You just saw like 15 people get murdered by a chimpanzee, and then like how I processed it. And again, I haven't done any research to see what Jordan Peele has confirmed or denied or whatever it said, about the film and his intention. But to me, it felt like he was trying to have the same connection with Gordy with the UFO too. So like he kind of saw the UAP as like this animal co-star in this sitcom more or less that he was creating, and it just backfired. It didn't work the way that he thought. And so like I guess because like you don't understand that one, Gordy didn't choose to kill him, because he went literally apeshit on everybody else. But then he sees this kid that I guess based off the show is his co-star. And like, I thought it was really interesting that Gordy signs, like he literally signs before like American Sign Language before he like does the fist bump. And so in that moment,
what did he say?
Yeah, I don't know that like that's the frustrating part.
You mean
like,
Alicia? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's like. But like from the little understanding and the little that I've seen her do, like to me, it seemed like he was saying like more or less like, yo, let's go. Like you and I, we can leave because whatever situation, like, because so Jupe, he talks about the unfortunate events that happened that day. And like the way, if I remember him correctly, the way he described it to M, who's Kiki Palmer, and OJ, Daniel Kaluuya, he pretty much says like Gordy just had enough. And like, he just lost it. He couldn't take it anymore, which is kind of low key referenced in different ways, and like how animals, like they have their breaking point. Because I think the director guy in the first scene, like one of the first scenes when they're actually on the commercial shoot or whatever, like the director guy talks about Siegfried and Roy and how like the tiger like lost it and just like reacted to maul the guy, which is what happened. But that experience that like, oh yeah, Gordy just lost it. And obviously we see that like the trigger was like that balloon pop when the present was open, the balloon went up, and then he just went crazy. But the fact that,
which happens for like little kids all the time.
Yeah, like any little thing could set you off, and even more so for literally, even if they're trained, wild animals in situations that they weren't created or designed for.
Yeah.
But for Gordy, the monkey, to do all of what he did, which I thought that scene was intense, like him coming up to the edge of the joint, like breathing all heavy and stuff, like what is about to happen, like that. Yeah, that was intense. But yeah, like even that, like the fist bump and that connection that those two characters had, like him and Jupe, But yeah, I really feel like his sign was what he was trying to sign was like, you and me, let's go. Like almost like let's escape from this fake world of.
Mhm.
I would say Gordy would probably like I know what a monkey's thinking, but like Gordy is like, I'm tired of these people. I'm tired of being treated this way. I'm tired of feeling like a captive, and like this is my rebellion, and now let's go. Like come with me because you're a small child and you're like maybe in the same situation I am. Let's go. We're friends. Let's go.
Yeah.
But before anything pops off, Gordy get got, which was I was like, oh no, like again, adding on to the trauma that Jupe is like suppressing clearly. He's not talking about it or whatever, but having these multiple flashbacks. And again, I think that connection is showing, at least to me, it's showing his understanding of, or I guess his relationship with animals. And so him thinking that he could have that same kind of relationship with this UAP, as they called it in the movie. And again, it just not working out the way that he thought it would, and that joint just sucking everybody up, like, which is trippy.
Yeah, that joint. It's funny, like I feel like people. It's like I mean, I haven't seen a ton of alien movies.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if I'm gonna get beamed up, you're not thinking you're getting digested right away. You know what I'm saying? Like you're thinking like they might experiment on me.
Yeah.
Brainwash me, control my brain, or like I have some type of like experience who they are.
Yeah.
But that jump was like,
that part,
like, this is a straw basically, and I'm about to, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that scene though, that sequence, I really love, like the showmanship of it. The one thing that didn't make sense to me though is that like if it was his like what the things were saying, kind of explaining that scene to me, which I think I didn't fully understand the grasp of, was that like Jupe has been doing this thing where he's creating this spectacle and he's like basically exploiting the UAP. Yeah. Because he's bought horses before from the ranch. Yeah. And so he's using it as like as bait. Yeah. And so I kind of was like, how come he doesn't have more people in the audience?
Why doesn't? Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it's also like this is just a ghost town area anyway. Like, but I love that sequence, and then like when they, you see what really happens to all of those people, I was like, really freaking out because they held it. Yeah, they let you experience it long enough for it to be like, you're like, at some point you see it and you're like, yo, where are they? This like weird plastic. Oh, this is like an intestine, and like they go up, and then they get to the top, and the sound transitions with you. It was just such a baller like filmmaking moment. Yeah. And I was really shook. I was like, oh yeah, 100%. I felt that in the pit of my stomach. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was super dope.
I agree with you. The sound design in the movie, it was top notch. Like it definitely adds to the whole experience. But like I agree with you. Even what I really liked that Jordan Peele did in this film is like I feel like he approaches UFOs and this whole alien topic in a completely like new way. Like, because I agree with you. Like the idea is like, oh, you get sucked up into the ship, and then there's supposed to be like experiment and like little green men or whatever. But it's like, oh no, the ship is the thing. Like and that's it. Like for me that was a okay. So for me, like as a child, I had a fear of aliens. Like I didn't like UFOs. Like even seeing it on like so like. Bro. Seeing it on like the Discovery Channel and stuff like that. They used to have like those ancient aliens or even like X-Files, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. What'd you do when Independence Day came out?
Watched it.
I would say Independence Day is probably the only close like you got Attack on Mars too, but I'm thinking of like in terms of like we're here to annihilate. Like just that devious narrative. I feel like those are also like similar to like how quick, because they like showed up and they're just blowing stuff up. But
I think using that Independence Day, like I think that took it more of like an action, action instead of like creepy aliens kind of thing. Like I've never seen which I would like to see, just because it's supposed to be a classic, like Close Encounter of the Third Kind.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I haven't seen that, but like there are other like staples, like classic kind of alien staple movies. So like I've seen Alien, like the original joint with Sigourney Weaver, which is creepy as crap. And then you have other things like Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger, but the way they do it, again, it's more heavy action and like less like in this one. I think the way that he went about it is definitely more suspense and like weird. Instead of like in Independence Day, it's like, oh snap, aliens, boom, boom, boom. Oh, we gotta fight the aliens, do, and like that's it. Like it's like, oh yeah, we're just gonna go fight the alien. This makes sense. But even like, for instance, in that scene in Independence Day, when they the scientists, they're like down there and then like they have, and he like grabs the guy's neck and he's like that scene. Yeah, like that is like nope. That was a nope for me. Like at that time, like, nah, I can't deal with this. Yeah. So like the way that he went about it and making it, I don't know, like approaching something that has had long lasting kind of like lore about it. Like, oh no, this is what aliens are supposed to do. Like even again, the spoiler, we've already said all that, but like scene where OJ is, I guess, in like the stable or whatever, and then you see the little aliens. Like,
yo, that joint was like, I was like,
yeah. I thought he did that really, really well because it's like even I think the way that he set up the shot is you couldn't recognize what it was until it started moving. I was like, oh no, like like with that, and then it being Jupe's kids or whatever, like took away the idea of like, oh no, like there are no little green men, like there are no little aliens, and so it's like, okay, then what are we dealing with? And that created space, I think, for him to create it into whatever he wanted it to be, which was again very, very interesting. What other major scenes like really stood out to you?
Yeah, other things I loved. I loved Brandon Pereira's character a lot. I loved just the way his interaction in the film was really sweet. It was really dope. Like I said, I liked the TMZ character that showed up towards the end on the bike. Yeah, I mean the opening was really well done. The opening with Daniel Kaluuya and Keith David was really well done. Yeah, like that whole scene I thought was just really well done because you just didn't even understand what was going on, and then like for some reason when like they get to that shot of the horse and you see the key on the horse, I actually thought that key was going to be more significant. Yeah, but just the way the vibe that they had and making that sequence, I was just really like, okay, I'm into this. This Wikipedia joint is referencing that jellyfish-like biblical angel form. Yeah. Which, knowing like if that is really a thing, I'm kind of like, all right, this is and that's the thing too. And when I walked away from the film, I was like, yo, if I don't understand it, or if I'm missing something, it's because this man is doing something that is like beyond me. You know what I mean? Or like, or he didn't care about giving me what I was looking for. He gave me something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I say that because I truly believe that for him, and just knowing that he's like a genius who is like, I'm trying to make this particular movie. Like he wasn't trying to make Get Out again, which is like really annoying that everybody's trying to compare everything this man does to Get Out. And I'm like, yo, I think he has, I think he's got other masterpieces in his world to make, but I think Get Out is just going to be like a particular unreplicable thing. Like let it just be it, you know what I'm saying, on its own. Don't try to compare anything else he does to that. Like it just happened that it was first, you know what I mean? But yeah, I just felt like he definitely was doing things that like I don't think he cared about meeting me where I was like trying to be met. I think he was just like, I'm gonna really just talk about attention and spectacle, and that's what this whole thing is gonna be tied to. We had the Gordy sequence. Yeah, I can't. I feel like I need to. I feel like I'm a little bit too far away from seeing the film. Do you think it's interesting? Do you think it's interesting that they like OJ is the character for Daniel Kaluuya. Like OJ, white Ford Bronco. You know what I mean?
I didn't even think about that. No, that's good though. Yeah, that's good. Go ahead.
So here's one more too. He referenced Wizard of Oz as like inspiration for this too, or like he told people to watch Wizard of Oz or something like that. Somewhere he mentions it, and I'm like, Emerald City, like that's kind of interesting. Like it's kind of interesting that they're like these may be the things that he was like, playing off of when he thought of like character names and stuff. You know?
Yeah. No, I think that is interesting. Like again, I'll have to watch, see some of the interviews and stuff that you've seen.
And Boys in the Hood, Ricky just got, you know what I'm saying? Like,
true. Yeah.
Ricky Juke.
Yeah.
I'm joking on that one. But I'm like,
no, yeah.
Maybe.
I definitely think like two things. I definitely think he's a genius. I think he's a genius and very great at his craft and telling stories. I also think he's really, really good at researching. Like, I think he does like a whole lot of researching, and he's very intentional about the stuff that the characters say. And then even like you were saying, like the names of the characters. A while ago, you said it can like rabbit hole. Like there's so many things that can rabbit hole just based off of this movie alone. I think that is really cool that you mentioned the OJ and like the white Ford Bronco.
Even Lucky, the horse Lucky, like that's the one that I don't know what happens to Ghost. I'm confused on that, but like Lucky,
I feel like he just runs away.
Yeah, just, like Ghost
never comes back.
Everybody, and then Lucky, he never gets got. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, which is a good play on his name, on the horse's name. I think like the commentary, at least to me, the commentary in this movie compared to his other films is more subtle. Like I don't think it's as overt and out there, not as much as Get Out, and definitely not. Yeah. Like I think Get Out was the most blatant, almost. Sure. Like it's just like, here's something, pay attention to it, like know what's going on.
You put a black dude next to a white woman, and you're like,
yeah.
This is racial.
Yeah. Us, I feel like if you didn't know about the Hands Across America thing, like if you didn't have that connection to that,
bro,
it was gonna, because I felt the same way too. I was like, what is happening here? Yeah. This is interesting. Because like it almost felt like at one point while I was watching like Us, I was like, are these mole people? Like what's happening? I don't understand this. But for this film, I think I felt a little bit more attached to it because like again, I have done some levels of like research when it comes to UFOs.
This was made for you.
Yeah, I had to be.
Yeah.
But like definitely the more sci-fi feel, and then like aliens, UFOs, or even like angelic presence. Because there's one line that I thought was really good when Angel is just even the character's names, like his name being Angel, and then you have these flying things that can be considered like angelic beings or whatever. But Angel, I think it's Angel who describes. No, it was Jupe. Jupe, he says, like he's given his spiel about the UFO and about the UAP or whatever, and he's like, I kind of call it, or I consider it a viewer, and like he describes it as the creature as a viewer, which if you dip into like extra biblical texts and stuff, like the Book of Enoch, it talks about these form of angels called watchers. So like watchers, viewers. I don't think that was a mistake. I think, what's the name was intentionally like, I'm referencing these kind of things on purpose. And so when I heard that, I was like, oh snap, what is he talking about? Oh, this is about to get crazy.
Yeah.
And like, because there's a lot of lore to that. Like there's a lot of depth to it. So it's this idea of like, we've believed for so long that UFOs are, again, something really far from outer space. But what if it is something that's just here? Like it's part of the creation that we exist in. Like instead of UFOs or UAPs being aliens, maybe they're another part of God's creation. Because at first when you see the UFO, it looks like the typical UFO. Like, oh, it looks like a silver saucer kind of spaceship. Mm-hmm. But as it goes on, it becomes like more flexible and it's moving around, and like, you know, ultimate form of it, you see it, it's like a jellyfish. Like it's more of a seemingly natural kind of creature rather than this super advanced technology, which is what we've always been taught about UFOs or taught about aliens and stuff like that. Oh, it's like it's so far advanced, we don't know anything about it. But like, well,
and we always make it like something that still is like taking the structure of a human in some way, but just like
exactly,
it's green. You know what I mean?
So like, I thought that was like really interesting, him telling that story. And then again, like, okay, going back to like what you said, like OJ and the white Bronco, I thought it was really interesting, the story that M's character, or Keke Palmer, she describes on the commercial shoot about the, I guess it was like considered like the first motion picture, and it being a black man on a horse. Like, again, as you know, like most movies or film, like the writers and the screenwriters, they put things in there on purpose. Like it's rarely just fluff. Like every word, every topic or something is important. And I found that interesting to have, like, you know, this iconic impact on culture is pretty much is this forgotten black cowboy that nobody knows about, but has had so much influence on this culture. Like, as she's telling that story, it's like, yeah, you know, we wrangle horses and stuff, but it's like we're on this big movie set and it's impacted by our ancestors. Like, we were the spectacle at that point. We were the initial thing. And now it's like we're playing the background. Like, we're almost kind of forgotten. And I add to that, like, I think it's interesting that you have Jupe, this Asian American kind of character, playing a cowboy, more or less. So you have this initial start of everything is this, when it comes to like entertainment, the way that the screenplay goes out, like the story, the way it goes in the movie, is like you have this foundational character that's forgotten, this black cowboy that is changing the industry. But now with that, and there is a deep history of black cowboys all throughout American history, but a lot of it is forgotten. Like a lot of stuff about us is forgotten or like completely erased or whatever. So you have this whole culture of black cowboys that's is erased, but now you have these actual, more or less, black cowboys selling their horses to this Asian American man who's acting and playing like a cowboy and like benefiting off of this culture. And so like, I think I think it's just really interesting, like these subtle kind of exchange. Cause I mean, sadly, there's always been tension between Asian community and black community, you know, even like recently in the past couple of years, like the Asian hate and all of that stuff. Like there's been this weird, relationship between our two communities. And I think seeing that, I think him putting that on display was very interesting, because it could have been, you know, it could have just been some random white cowboy, you know what I'm saying? But it was very specific. It was an Asian man who, you know, was like interacting with these two black characters. And so like, I have to do further research to see what the interpretations and stuff like that was. But I think there were subtle things that Jordan Peele was trying to bring attention to. And that's what, like, kind of like you said earlier, like the more I think about the movie, like the more I geek out about it. Like, it's like, oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely a joint I would watch again. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
It's got like a sense of replay value.
Yeah.
Sorry, you heard that, right?
No. It's all good. Kind of mentioned Gordy, but did you have like a specific favorite scene throughout the whole movie?
Honestly, I feel like I don't remember it right now, but the Gordy sequence was dope. Of course. Oh, the blood on the house. Like, how did I forget that? That joint was like, it was a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if I guess I can say it was my favorite scene. It was a scary scene too, but the one with Jupe before he gets got, you know what I mean? That whole sequence, like, I just feel like its ability to like stir me emotionally, to be into fear.
Yeah.
It's just really well done. So it's like, I gotta give kudos to that sequence there.
Oh yeah.
But also even like the showmanship of it all, it's like it was oddly drowned out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From like this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. Okay. This is what we're gonna do. Oh no, it's here. Okay. Even the way they shot it to kind of match Jupe's like presentation of spectacle was just really, because even you get the shot of him like looking up, which was like a consistent thing in this particular film, like seeing everybody look up. Like,
yeah,
I thought that was really cool. I, for some reason, was really drawn to the TMZ reporter sequence because I feel like part of me really wanted worse for that man.
True.
But he he did get it. But it's just something about it. I just feel like the wardrobe. The wardrobe of that whole thing, and like, it just felt kind of mysterious to a certain point that I really liked. Like, and for me, like, I'm realizing how much I'm into mystery, and of course, suspense, but into mystery. And I think because that was another component of like, yo, who is this guy?
Yeah,
I really was just really drawn into it. So I probably will say that scene. What about you?
The house scene.
Yeah,
like that whole sequence.
Yeah.
So like him, Angel being in the car, and the music slowing down.
Oh, you mean Kaluuya?
No, like Angel, the tech guy.
He was in the car too?
Yeah, he was in his van. He was getting ready to leave. He was getting ready to leave.
I thought he got in the house at 1 second. Okay, got you.
Yeah, no, he did. He was in his van, and then he had music playing, and then the music started slowing down.
Yes. Yeah,
like
That's
that yeah, like that whole scene up until the point that I guess they actually leave, like they leave the ranch. That's my favorite part of the whole movie. I think even in comparison to when the people actually get sucked up and you see like the UAP eating and like processing them, like that scene, that house scene, like especially like the bloody house scene, is probably the scariest part, like the whole movie. Like even just again the use of sound design. So hearing the people screaming, like it was just so eerie. It was just so eerie and creepy. Definitely. I think that was and as weird as it sounds, like I wish I could get a screenshot of that shot of like the UFO and it's like raining around it and then the blood's coming down on it. Like that was just beautiful. The way that it was done. But I think I think it's interesting. And we can start to wrap this up. But like I think it's interesting that one of the most alien-like and like UFO kind of related stuff was the TMZ character. Like the TMZ, him on that shiny helmet. Like I feel like that was
where do you get that, bro?
And why? Like why do you have that? And it was the most sci-fi related thing, almost in the movie, outside of like the costume of the little Jupe characters. Like that thing seemed the most adjacent to sci-fi kind of stuff, but it was just some jerk from TMZ like messing up their whole situation. But so like, okay, at this point overall, what would you rate the movie?
I don't even want to rate it, bro, because I just don't want to reduce. I don't even want to reduce the art to like my like flimsy opinion.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Which is weird because I'm on Letterboxd. But what's the rating system?
Out of 10. 10 being masterpiece, and then anything else in between.
I think because I felt so like what happened at the end of the film. Like I think I told you that when I walked out, I was like, this was a 6. But I think like just remembering all the things that I loved about it. And even knowing even when walking out, I'd be like, yo, I think he was doing something I just wasn't hip to. Not saying that like fixes everything, but it for some reason makes me be like, if there's something I just felt like wasn't done in the formula of cinema or whatever, it's because he's trying to do something totally different. Like this film felt like a Spielberg joint. It felt like a Hitchcock film. A bit because of how it ended, like quick, like you defeat him and you're done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like he was doing something. He was going for something a bit structurally different. So I think too, and also just knowing like the deeper form of like what that saucer drink was. It's like it's funny for me to not immediately be like, as into it in terms of a transformation as I was, it is another image of that film that I can't forget. Like,
yeah.
if I had to draw it for you, and I'm a horrible drawer, it's probably one thing I could draw really well because it was like an imprint of like this thing in the sky that we've never seen in this shape before.
Yeah.
Maybe I would have wanted the VFX to feel a little bit more like real or something.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's because I knew that it was like CGI or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But maybe that's what took me out. The whole film had a texture of like realness and like desert and horse and real. And then you had this one thing at the end that was just kind of like, it felt fake to me. It's just like it felt there was an inconsistency that kind of lost me a bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I would say maybe I give it a 7 now. You know, but I think I'm like, I bet you if I watch it again, I probably will like it more second watch than I would the first watch. Like part of me wants to go to like an actual IMAX and watch it now. Yeah. Just because I would love to see like the whole cast on the whole freaking real screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But the other, so the one thing I didn't talk about, the Gordy shot that stands out to me is like the floating shoe.
Yeah. Right.
Like, I need to understand why that happened.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Because even when it comes with like the other stuff that's going on, there's nothing else that had that quality like that.
Yeah.
You know, like nothing else stayed suspended and up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just love, like, even if there is no answer to it, I just love the simple stuff like that. That's just like, because it looks cool and like makes you wonder.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put it in there. You know what I mean? So
no,
man, I agree with that. It's funny. Like I was always a fan of Peele, especially after he made this one. I've been like the last few days, my like fan of him and respect for him is just like grown tremendously. Even if I'm not walking out like there's just a 10 out of 10, I'm definitely like this dude is so likable. This dude seems like a great like person to work with, and then he's just a beast at what he does. Like everybody loves to be a part of his stuff, and it's just like, yo, man, this dude has a lot to offer the world, you know, from an artistic standpoint. And even just like seeing how he is with people, he's just a cool, dope dude, you know what I mean? So it's like 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 10 out of 10, whatever. It's just like, I just am like, I'm a fan of this guy. So it's like, I just hope, I can't wait for his next joint. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Likewise. Yeah. I mean, I would definitely give it an 8 to like an 8.5. Like, and okay, so
Fractions
like,
over here.
Huh?
Fractions over here.
Right. just a little bump. Before, like the day I got like purchased my tickets, like I got my tickets online or whatever, right? I was watching a podcast with Terrence, John, and Mike. They're Relentlessly Real podcast. So Terrence has this segment where he talks, it's Netflix and chill, or Netflix or chill. So he talks about like, it's a movie that you should watch or you should pass on. So he brought up Nope, and he was like, it's trash, you shouldn't see it. I was like, oh no. And I was like, I put in the comments like, I just bought my ticket, and he was like, oh no, Jam, you shouldn't have done that. Like I was like, but after like soon as the movie started, I was like, I don't know what he's talking about. Like, I think this one is dope.
Yo, it's so funny, especially people like homies like Terrence. Like, when they love something and when they hate something, it's like, and I haven't seen all his stuff to see like a consistent thread of things that he's into or not. Yeah. But I just feel like people shock you, yo. Because like for you to say you love this film, it's like, there's a ton of stuff I've seen you be really critical of that I'm like, I thought this was great. Maybe I'm just like a whack taste. What? So when you watch this, I was like, yo, I'm really curious, because I feel like it's not that you're hard to impress, and I know that like you, like there's a niche of the world that you're really into. But I was like, okay, if he likes this means something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I will say though, like after watching the movie, I can understand like if you're not really a big fan of like sci-fi or alien kind of stuff, this probably wouldn't be the movie for you. Just because like I can agree with you in the sense of like overall, I thought the movie was beautifully shot. Like everything about it was beautiful. Like him capturing the landscape, the sky, everything. Like everything was beautiful. And I think you make a good point about the idea of like you have something so earthy, like these horses, the ranch, the mountains, all this stuff, and then you have this out of this world kind of thing. Like it seems out of place. It seems very absurd. And I know for a lot of people who are more realistic in the entertainment that they watch, like they can't dig, like there are certain people who are like, I can't stand Marvel stuff. Like I can't stand, like it just doesn't do anything for me. And there are other people who are like, I need it to be real. And it's interesting that this movie has that dynamic of like, oh, this is real, and then trying to like bring the audience to understand like, oh no, but this thing, as crazy as it seems, is also real. I think can be very challenging for people. It's like, no, this don't, especially since it's again looking at UFOs in a different light. You know, it's looking at aliens in a different light instead of like, oh yeah, little green men that come down and they got like lasers and stuff like that. It's like, no, like this thing, even the way OJ's character describes it, it's like, oh no, it's a predator and we're in its territory. Like it's trying to make it animalistic.
That to me was very I was really into that twist.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so that idea of trying to make it like, oh no, it's just a really big animal. Like it has nothing to do with little green men. It has nothing to do with all this stuff. It's just a really big animal that we don't know anything about, but we're learning about it. Again, if you're not interested in any of that stuff, or you don't make space for it, the movie's gonna be stupid to you because it's like, this is dumb. Like this doesn't make any sense.
It's weird. I feel like I've heard people compare this to like Signs by M. Night. And I was like, I like Signs. I've only seen it once, but I remember when I saw it, I liked it. Yeah. But what's another joint that came out? Oh, Arrival. That's a totally different kind of alien movie. Arrival by Denis Villeneuve.
I think I remember seeing commercials and like previews for it, but I don't know if I've seen that one.
I kind of I say this as like a statement, but I don't mean it to be like the truth, but like I kind of just feel like people who have a thing about aliens and UFOs, like it's like not everybody digests that kind of stuff the same way. And that's why I'm like, yo, Get Out to us is less of a jump than what Nope is doing for people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, Nope was a big jump. I don't want to say tonally, but like from like a genre standpoint.
Yeah.
For what, Peele was doing. But it's also funny because I'm like, Jordan Peele was always doing weird stuff. Like all his characters on Key and Peele, like, he's doing archetypes and stereotypes and all that type of stuff, but also he just did a ton of weird stuff too. Yeah. And like weird, like spooky people. Like, he's always had like this nerdy, like weird component to stuff. So it's like, this makes sense. But if you just are like stuck on Get Out and can't break out of that show, then you won't grasp this one. So
I mean, I think overall, I don't know. I think it's still a good addition to his collection of films thus far. Like
try to break the mold, bro. And even if it is like this is the kind of joke that I'm like, if people hate it now, 10 years from now, it'll be more liked with time. Right. Like a cult, absolutely. Like a cult classic, for something like when it came out, it wasn't perceived well by the people, but then over time it found a following, and then it's it's going to be like, I think it'll be one of those joints. I feel like it definitely will, like with some time, some space, and even just chance to like digest it, No,
100%. I mean, I think I think it's a movie that people should see just to experience it, because I mean, at the bare minimum.
And so this man can keep creating stuff too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Give him money.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, just because like the movie is so beautifully shot, like I think that's one of the biggest takeaways. Like there's so many, there's so many like beautiful and amazing shots that he put in place to help tell that story. Like I would definitely recommend to go check it out or whatever, even if you're not into UFOs or sci-fi and stuff like that. It's just, to me, it's just an entertaining movie, and I think all the actors did well.
Just go watch it to see Keke Palmer fly for like 5 seconds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's funny.
She did really well too.
Yeah, it's funny that they didn't do that. They didn't do that spinning joint on Daniel Kaluuya.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yo, was he not trying to be suspended?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, I don't do this.
He's like, I'm an Oscar winner, bro. I can't do that kind of stuff, bro.
Yeah.
If you think about it, bro, when have you seen that kind of thing happen to a black female, though? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
When have you seen anything as crazy as like a caught up in an alien windstorm happen to a
Yeah.
black female
Yeah.
on big
Yeah.
screen? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just,
Yeah.
I think I just really like, and then, Jordan Peele really did give her like the joints in this movie.
Yeah.
Because like he gave her the Akira reference shot with the motorcycle.
Yeah.
He gave her, she flew, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She hit the Dorothy from Wizard of Oz flying around, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, technically, she's also the hero of the movie because she kills it. Like she kills Blue Jeans. Like she's the and which I think is cool because like at the end of the day, like,
did you say Blue Jeans?
Is it, what was it, Jean Jacket?
Jean Jacket.
Yeah, Jean Jacket. Yeah, Jean Jacket. Like I think that's, which is kind of deep now that I think about it too, because like that was the horse she never got to train.
Yeah.
But now she conquered this one. Like she conquered that version of Jean Jacket. And the part I was gonna say before I had that thought is like this was almost their form of revenge for the loss of their father. Like it became kind of like full circle. And like overall, I think like you mentioned Signs and like people kind of comparing it to Signs. I wouldn't even compare it to that. Like to me, by the end of the movie, I felt like I just saw like a weird sci-fi version of Jaws, because that's what it felt like to me. Like you have this mysterious, like you know what it is. Like people know, oh, there's this giant shark and it's killing people, but we don't fully know everything about it. And like as the movie progresses, it does more damage. It becomes bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
But then, like you said, with Spielberg kind of stuff, like, boop, you just blow that joint up.
You just couldn't do it in the water. You just couldn't do it in the water because black people don't swim. You know?
Yes, that's the case. We've also seen black people in sharks because Samuel L. Jackson got crushed by sharks in Deep Blue Sea. LL Cool J barely made it out. So.
The only one, bro, that's defied all the odds.
That's how it goes.
I forgot to mention this. I don't know if I felt like I understood how he went chapters on it with the horses, like Ghost, Lucky, Jean Jacket. Like, it. Part of me is like, maybe I just missed something that he was doing structurally, and it just didn't feel right in the moment.
True.
And maybe because also for Gordy to be thrown in there, it was like, you did a chapter on Gordy, but you didn't make the thread super obvious. Yeah. Unless you're saying something that's just like, yo, animals, whether they fly or crawl, they have a limit, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever it is. But I just thought it was interesting that he went to kind of the chapter route. Yeah. The other thing I noticed too about Peele is that his use of flashbacks is becoming very like part of his thing now. Like heavy flashbacks in Get Out, a ton of flashbacks in Us, and even here there's flashbacks of like for Daniel Kaluuya's character. Interesting enough though, they typically before were with one character, but now they're with in this one they're with multiple characters. Yeah. With Gordy, with Jupe, his flashback. Yeah. Although stylistically it's not the same as what he did with Kaluuya in Get Out and here. But his use of flashbacks, which is funny because at first I was like, oh man, the whole don't look at it in his eyes. Yeah. I kind of felt like that was inserted. True. But it was a big deal. So it's kind of like, I kind of was like, man, does that from like did that feel right how we put that in there? Like I kind of was like, or does he say that even in the beginning when they're in the first, commercial shot and I missed it. But either way, like just the use of flashbacks for like key narrative stuff, like it's his thing,
No, I agree. And I think a lot of the stuff in this film was a lot more subtle and not like very overt and clear sometimes. Because like even with the like you mentioned, the idea of like looking and bringing up the idea of like don't look at it or whatever, and him also making the connection like it being a predator. And then it seems like at that point in time, OJ is the only one that actually has experience dealing with animals. And so he's just like dropping nuggets of information, particularly from a character who doesn't, I'll say his communication style is very limited, especially in contrast to Emerald. Cause like she was just like the showman almost, like she was just going, talking. And he's like almost like one-liners.
Yeah.
But him dropping knowledge more or less is like, no, this is what it is. All right, this is what we're gonna do. And like him having to like at some point take the lead in how to deal with Jean Jacket. Because he was the animal wrangler at that point. Like he was the one that had the most experience. But again, how it was brought up and communicated was very subtle, rather than like, no, this is the whole exposition, and like this is why we're gonna do this thing. And like, it was just like, nah, he just kind of rolled with it.
We always had skin in the game.
Yeah, right. Like, okay. I think overall, I think it's a good film. I think people should definitely go see it and support it because I mean, it's just good. So just definitely check it out. But thank you, my brother, for taking time to chat with me on this. Please let people know, like I know you were kind of being, in my opinion, being humble about how you know, your position when it comes to your artistry and your creativity, but please let people know where they can come actually see like some of the work that you've done, because you are a filmmaker and you've produced things that are good. Let people know how they could see your stuff, support your stuff, or even if people are interested in working with you, like how can people get in touch with you and contact you and stuff?
Yeah, man. I feel like the biggest space to kind of absorb stuff from my end is like my website, which is kennardblackwell.com. So check that out. And then in terms of social media, is like the where I'm most active on is Instagram, which is, I need to change this at some point to get it all synced up across all the boards. But it's just K_black is just where you can find stuff and see what I'm doing lately, if I'm doing anything. But yeah, definitely check out my website. And yeah, there you go. On Instagram, K_black. Bro, this is good, man.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you.
Yeah. We'll have to do some more analysis of various things.
We should let's do another one that's got deep components to it, but something like maybe older.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like that'd be really cool. I mean, we could do something that's coming out to come out. I don't matter.
No, yeah.
I just feel like there's like, I know there's gonna be a couple of things that we could really like jam on. No pun intended. But that'd be really fun to do. Cause I feel like this is stuff we used to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro. Thanks, man. This is good.
No, yeah.
I'm gonna go holler at these baby kids.
All right, man. Well, thank you. I appreciate you, Art.
Yeah, dog. Stay up, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. Peace.
All right, bro. Peace.
Well, thank you for watching Dude Make Something. I've been hanging out with my brother Kennard Blackwell. If you like this kind of content, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, where we're gonna have more content related around creativity and art. Because again, the whole purpose of Dude Make Something is to help Black men to improve themselves. And I believe creativity and managing mental health is a big component of that. So if you're interested, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Check out the podcast when you get the chance, and I will be back with more stuff. Peace.